I've been filming videos for over 10 years and I just want to share how I went from creating work like this
to life, fire and light, enchanting me.
to this. I want to start off by being completely honest and saying that the camera that you use will probably make a difference in the quality of the videos, but I go over gear in a lot of my other videos, so let's put that aside for now. These are just some things that I learned throughout the years of filming and some tips I would give to my younger self. Tip number 1, don't strive for perfection. If you want to get good at filming, you do have to film a lot. And where I found the most fastest growth in my filming ability was when I started to work for Jack's wedding videography company, because we were filming at least once a week and wedding jobs are usually 8 hours. So usually we would start with the getting ready portion of the wedding, and you don't have that much time to be perfecting anything. So you might be given 15 minutes to get the groom getting ready, and the room might have one source of light coming from a window. So you have to quickly, look at the setting, figure out where to place your subject, where the light is coming from, and then get a bunch of variety of shots in a short amount of time while working with a photographer that's also trying to get their shots. So you just learn very quickly to work with what you have. Another thing with weddings is that you don't get second chances to get important moments, so you always have to be aware of what's going on and be ready to set up a composition and press record in a couple of seconds. Also, when filming events, you're often a fly on the wall, so you might not be able to pose the couple or the guests, so it's up to you to move around, choose the right focal length, and compose the shot accordingly. So please don't beat yourself up if you're not good at filming yet. Like, you have to start somewhere and you have to put in your reps to become better. So just get those reps in. Tip number 2, pay attention to mise-en-scene. Mise-en-scene is basically how everything is arranged in the shot. This is everything from settings, props, costumes, composition, blocking, color, lighting. So for example, when you're filming a vlog, you might start with where the subject is placed. You can see how depending on where I'm placed in the scene, it changes the whole balance of the shot. You can also play around with what is physically in the scene. So maybe I'll take out certain colors I don't want or clean up the space, and that can make a difference in the whole frame. You can also explore different compositions. So for example, right now I'm using a 35mm and trying to decide what to include in this frame. You can physically move the camera around forward or backwards to test out different compositions. You can also do this by using a zoom lens if you have one and try to figure out what to include in the frame or not. A really great way to practice this is by using a wider lens like a 35mm, or you can use your phone. Set it up and look at all 4 corners of the frame and see like, okay, should I include this like post that's over here, or this tree, or the side of the table? What does it look like if I crop it in a little bit or move forward? What does it look like if I pull back and get a little bit wider? So you can really see like the whole framing and like be intentional about what you're leaving in and leaving out. And then once you get the framing, you can move around the furniture, look at the different colors that might be bothering you, maybe even switch out your wardrobe if you want. They can all make a difference in the overall balance of the shot. Tip number 3, practice cinematography. If mise-en-scene is what is in the frame, cinematography is how you decide to capture it. This includes camera angles, shot sizes, lens choice, camera movement, and depth of field. So for camera angles, you can do eye level, high angle, low angle, Dutch angle, overhead, or POV. And if done intentionally, these all evoke different feelings. Shooting from a lower angle makes the character feel bigger, grander, stronger, and in contrast, filming down on your subject might make them feel smaller and weaker since you're literally looking down on them. In terms of shot size, the most common is wide, medium, and close-up. When it comes to lens choice, something like this 20mm might include more of the background, and playing around with different focal lengths will also give you a different feeling. A 35mm feels like you're right there, and a 150mm might feel like you're observing from afar. There's also camera movement that you can play around with. Right now this is on a tripod, but you can use a gimbal, you can pan, tilt, use a jib, use a, a slider. You can play around with whatever you want. I would say it's best if the camera movement is motivated motivated in some way. A simple example is someone is moving and you're tracking them. Unmotivated camera movement is fine too if intentional, but you will be drawing more attention to the movement itself. I would say like ask yourself, what is the feeling I'm trying to evoke? For example, when I was filming weddings, I really liked to use the 35mm handheld when it came to like getting ready and opening up gifts and all of that pre-wedding stuff, because it really made it feel like you were right there with them. Tip number 4, don't overlook audio. I took a sound class in college and we talked about how you can watch like a pretty shitty iPhone video with clear audio, but you cannot sit through like a really good video with very, very bad sound. Like it's just something you can't tune out. I would invest in a mic if possible. Like right now I'm traveling, so I'm using this DJI mic because it's very small, portable, and it syncs up with my Osmo Pocket 3, which I also brought. But it's something that I'm always trying to like invest in because again, it's something you can't tune out, and it's like a very small thing that makes a big difference in the quality of your videos. On that same topic, you really don't want to cheap out when it comes to good music and sound effects as well. I'm super grateful to be working with MusicBed for this video because I actually use MusicBed not just for my YouTube videos, but I have been using them professionally for my wedding business, and it does make a big difference to have good music because generic jingly songs can feel very neutral and forgettable. They don't build or breathe with your edit, and that really affects the overall quality of your video. MusicBed songs are written to evoke specific emotions, so your audience will feel it. This is kind of given, but using generic music will result in your video feeling pretty generic too. You want to be able to connect with your audience, and you can do that by creating an immersive scene using music and sound effects. Here's an example of a video I made using MusicBed. I'm brought back to the time we would visit. Every 2 years, sometimes 3 years, we'd sit at the dinner table, my parents catching up with my grandparents, as my sister and I sit across my cousin in silence. 2 years is long when you're going from 6 to 8 years old. My sister and I would whisper to each other in English, our Japanese rusty as ever. But after dinner, we'd go upstairs and play like kids do. Somehow we'd be able to communicate again, loosen up, and remember that we're family. By the end of the trip, he'd come with us to the port where there's a boat that takes us to the airport. We'd all sit in silence again. As the boat leaves, we're waving out the window, our eyes blurry, filled with tears. It hurt. Goodbyes are hard, and I wondered, why can't we stay here forever? So if you're interested, switch to MusicBed and start creating content that truly connects. Sign up for your 14-day free trial today using the link in my description box. Tip number 5, don't be scared to experiment with graphics and overlays. This can bring so much more style to your videos. Like think Tarantino films with his text and graphics, you know, it makes a big difference in creating more of this stylish look. Sometimes if I feel like a scene is boring or I'm missing something, I'll just play around with frames to see if it's what I'm looking for. And different types of frames might evoke certain feelings, like adding this frame can make it feel more nostalgic. Being specific about the type of text you use can also make a huge difference in what the video looks like. Even when it comes to commercial or wedding work, like using a minimal font might feel more like a luxury wedding company, but using something more like big and bold might feel more retro and quirky. So you can play around and see what you like. But here's an example, like using just iPhone footage even, but just adding different types of text. You can go with something minimal and clean, or loud and bold. They all have a different feeling, but just adding a text looks so much different than just having it plain like this. Tip number 6, don't just focus on filming. It's understandable that when you start getting into videography, you really want to film a lot, but you can't overlook editing. Like when I was working at an ad agency, the first thing they had me do was edit a video. So they didn't have me a camera to go out and film right away, but they wanted to see what I can do with editing. Because when you're editing, you're like forced to look through all the footage, right? So you know what other people are filming. And then as you're editing, you start to like think, oh, I wish I had this shot, or, you know, I would have shot this differently. So you're kind of working in in your brain like what kind of shots you wish you could get. So when you're ready to go out on film, you're like, okay, these are the shots that I need, and that makes you a better filmer. It's also very important to review your own footage. Like when I started working for Jack's wedding company, I remember he had me come in and look at the footage that I shot, because some of it was composed very nicely, but what I didn't realize was how shaky the footage was and how I didn't hold the shots long enough. So there might be a disconnect between what you think you shot versus what you actually shot. Just a quick tip when it comes to filming handheld, because that's what I was often doing. You want to hold the camera, kind of tuck in your elbows, bend your knees a little bit, and that'll help stabilize the camera a little bit more. And when you press record, try to make sure the shot is around 5 seconds at least, so you have enough to play with. Especially if you have a photography background, I think you're used to like shooting and getting that moment, but for video, like if it's a 1 second shot, you probably won't be able to use it. So you want like 3 to 5 seconds at least, you know, and maybe 10 seconds if you want something to breathe longer. And lastly, on the topic of post-production, if you do learn how to color grade, that will make a huge difference in your videos, obviously. If you're interested, we do have a few color grading tutorials on our channel, and we also have like a pre-power grade if you use DaVinci Resolve. I'm nowhere near where I want to be when it comes to filming. I feel like it's a constant work in progress, and you're always looking at other people that are better than you and like trying to get there. But you know, it takes time. It takes time to learn. And again, you do have to get your reps in. So if you're just starting out and you feel like you're really bad, just remember like we all do start somewhere, and you do just have to go out and film and go out and edit, and you will get better with each thing that you shoot and each thing that you edit. Just keep practicing. And again, I do have the 14-day trial of MusicBed below for you guys. If you are interested, please check it out. But that's it for this video. I hope you found something in this video helpful, but I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.